This is part 2 of our practice test. It says to read passages 1 and 2, then answer questions 25 through 30. Passage 1, Dealing with Spam. Inboxes fill up with unwanted emails or spam. Receiving spam is frustrating. It wastes people's time and takes up valuable space on their computers. In some cases, spam can be dangerous. Some messages are advertisements from real companies. Other messages contain viruses that could damage your computer's hard drive. Take the following steps to avoid unwanted email and protect your computer. Number 1, never reply to spam. And again, I'm going to highlight those just for easier on my eyes. Some email senders promise to delete your address from their mailing lists. All you have to do is click on a certain link in the email. However, by replying, you tell spammers that they have reached a valid email address. Then they are likely to sell your email address to other spammers. Keep your email address a secret. Never put it on a web page or news group. Spammers use web crawling software to find email addresses. You can use a contact form instead of putting an email address. If you must share your email address, use a form that a person can read but that software cannot. For example, instead of me@domain.com, write me@domain.com. Check your email program to see if it can filter spam into a separate folder. Then you can open the folder and review these emails to make sure they are all junk mail. Passage 2, How to Choose a Strong Password. You have probably watched this scene in a movie or on a TV show. Someone desperately needs to get into another person's computer. He or she tries several passwords that the person might use. The attempts might contain the name of the person's pet or a favorite song. You do not want to make it easy for anyone to figure out your password and break into your computer. Here is one way to choose a strong password. Make up a sentence that you can remember easily. Here is an example. I own 2 dogs, Buster and Red. Use the first letter in each word. Include capitals and punctuation too. You can turn written numbers into digits for added safety. Here is what the above sentence would become. IO2D:BA You could also use the following method. However, your password will not be as strong. Choose 2 or more unrelated words. Here is an example. Moon and fork. Combine the words. Add 1 or more symbols or numbers. Then make at least one change. For example, capitalize letters. Here is the password. M, capital O, little o, capital N, 2 exclamation point, FORK. Always use at least 8 characters, in your password. The longer your password is, the harder it will be for someone to guess. This is a very good article. It's a technical text, but it's a good article. Good advice. Okay, number 25. When does a spam filter work? So this is from passage 1. Before the spam is sent to you, before you read the spam, after you read the spam, or after you reply to the spam. It works before you read the spam. It puts those spam messages into a spam folder. Number 26. How can you use a sentence to create a strong password? Combine two of the words in the sentence and add numbers and punctuation. Think of a sentence that is difficult to remember so no one else will guess it. Use the first letter of each word in a sentence and add numbers, symbols, punctuation, or capitalization. Write a sentence that has numbers and then take out all the numbers. Well, this one was in the passage that talks about sentences. This is a good way to make a password. According to passage 2, which of these would be the strongest password? According to passage 2. So let's look back at passage 2. There's one phrase in there that I remember, and it's this last sentence. Or not the last sentence, the last paragraph. Always use at least 8 characters in your password. And I learned this in school. You need at least 8 characters. The only one of these that is at least 8 characters is this one, D. How are passage 1 and passage 2 alike? Both passages are about creating folders for junk mail. Well, let's look back. I don't believe that's true. No, passage 1 was spam. That's junk mail. So this is not both passages. This is only passage 1. Both passages are about how to stop unwanted emails. No, that's passage 1. Both passages focus on why strong passwords are important. No, that's passage 2. Both passages focus on protecting the information in your computer. That is true. And that is my answer for number 28. Number 29. Which detail from passage 1 tells why you should not reply to spam? Do not reply to spam. However, by replying, you tell spammers that they have reached a valid email address. Spammers use web crawling software to find email addresses. Check your email program to see if it can filter spam into a separate folder. Then you can open the folder and review these emails to make sure they are all junk mail. The key is replying. And the answer is A. Number 30. Which statement best describes the passages? Both texts are scientific texts. That is not true. Science would be a process of scientific theory. That's not what we're dealing with here. Both texts are technical. That is true. This C says historical. That's not true. And again, scientific is not an option. So we're looking at B. Both texts are technical texts. And which of these is the best support for that? Both passages use numbers to explain a procedure. I don't think so. Let's look back. I can't remember, but number 1, passage 1 does, but not passage 2. So this is a false statement. Both passages use bulleted lists. That's not true. Passage 2 does, but not Passage 1. Both passages include graphics. Nope. Both passages use steps to explain how to do something. And if you're studying your flashcards, that's the definition of a technical text. Vocabulary is so important. Okay. I'm going to stop this video, and I'll see you in the next one for question 31.